Kids. Hey, Kool-Aid and frozen pizza. It's the work of art, I ain't talking Mona Lisa. Dream of rocking crowds, see me filling up arenas. This weed got me laughing like a damn hyena. Yeah, I live a life pretty similar to yours. Used to go to school, hang with friends and play sports. Every single summer taking trips to the shore. And that was all gravy, but I knew I wanted more. Ain't ever seen a young rapper like one. Can't believe they asked, swear it's just a mirage. Still got my training wheels in the garage, but I ain't gonna need.
Welcome to another episode of Around the 412. I'm Tyler, and with me as always are Smitty and Herb. It's a sad day in Pittsburgh.
Wasn't expecting to be opening up with talking about this. Just within the last few hours. I mean, we woke up today, was ready to just come on here and talk about mainly football, all
ready
sports,
to have a good day.
Yeah, mainly football, and then we lose one of our own. So, I know a ton of Mac Miller fans. Obviously, we're all Mac Miller fans. I don't know Herb's level of fanism
Up there.
but
Especially
I know
recently.
Beefy's definitely a stan. So
Yeah.
but I mean, it's a tough day for everybody. Like, so many people are putting it like on Instagram stories. Like, I've never seen so many Instagram stories for like a death. Snapchat, people are just listening to his music all day, as it should be. But just crazy. I mean, we are a sports podcast, but really anything in Pittsburgh we like to talk about and get involved with. So, shout out to Mac.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, at least it's one thing that the world can come together on, especially
that's what I'm saying.
for the
Like,
love of God.
It sucks that it's under that circumstance, but like to open up Twitter and not see people bitching back and forth about a subject, to go on there and not see people arguing about people taking a knee or something. It's just to finally just see people united on something. It sucks that this is what it takes.
Credit, there are still people
But
bitching and moaning, but
yeah,
they're not.
you're able to duck it.
Yeah.
At least for the most part. But yeah, people are absolutely nuts. Beefy informed me that Ariana Grande actually had to turn off her Instagram comments. So
Yeah.
Wow.
people are so nuts.
To be absolutely fair, it's not her fault. But when you say
I know. I tweeted her messing around,
Yeah.
and I hope it was. I doubt she might have blocked me. I didn't go look. But
when she said a couple months ago that she knew she was going to marry Pete Davidson 2 years ago when she pretty much just started dating Mac, you can fuck yourself.
yeah, I've always been curious about that. It's like, why are you getting into a relationship if you don't see yourself long term with that person? Like,
Because
what's
you're
the
a
whole
shitty
point
human.
of dating is to find the person you're
Because
gonna be.
you're a shitty human.
But we're not even talking about.
And
That's beside the point.
it makes me upset whenever I see the Ariana's ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Those
almost
things
feel like
piss me off.
I feel like today, not that people should have been making a joke about it, but I feel like the headlines today were like taking a shot at the fact that was a headline
Oh, they were.
the last time. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think it was like in the same
They're doing it to get attention.
context.
It's
as
still
the
shitty.
first-
It still
Yeah.
upsets
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And I like looked it up before Ariana Grande's like debut album. Mac Miller had a #1 album on the Billboard 200.
Yeah.
That's what I say. I like.
And he was younger than she was, right?
Yeah. No, he's older, but
Well,
he
when
was,
she got
he was
big.
he was more famous,
Yeah.
like at his level, I guess. Like whenever she was like on Nickelodeon, whenever like Blue Slide Park came out.
Yeah.
Blue Slide Park was debuted it got to #1 on the
Yeah.
charts. And I also looked up that her first single that reached the top 10 in the Billboard charts was The Way, that had Mac Miller on it.
Yeah.
I love that song.
He was the reason it made to the radio.
It's one of my favorite songs.
Just
If
frustrating.
anyone knew me in high school, that's who I wanted to be.
I was just saying, like, I don't know.
think any white kid from Pittsburgh wants to be Mac Miller.
I don't know if you guys do this, but like, there's always been like not necessarily a list, a group of people that I think about, and it's like I want them to someday know me by name. You know what I mean? And it's like he was one of those people.
Yeah. But he never. You mean personally or like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I were to like make it big enough doing something,
Yeah.
where like he would know me by name.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, he's one of those people. And it's funny. He never thought he was that famous either. Like I've read for a couple months now, I'd say. He's like the most humble or was the most humble person in the world.
Yeah.
Like people would come up to him in the middle of New York just to talk to him or plug themselves, and he didn't care. He didn't want them to come up.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Like, it just sucks. I mean, I tweeted this. When anybody dies anymore. Well, I mean, at this age, you would. But like, when somebody dies, it's pretty sad that you just automatically assume it's drug overdose.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
with
like
his past, it makes sense to just assume.
That's
but
another
at
thing I
the
was
same
just saying.
time, fuck yourself if you think ODing is like the worst way to die, or you lose respect when you die that way, or something like that. Fuck you.
What I was gonna say is, it's like with what happened to him in May, like when he wrapped his vehicle around
Yeah.
and then fled the scene and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's like crazy to me that he, like, why is he not getting the help at that point? You know, maybe it doesn't reach this point. Like, and a lot of that got brushed under the rug. The
Mhm.
fact that he like fled the scene, so they ended up showing up to his house, and he like blew 3 times over the legal limit. It's like, at that point, why is he not being helped?
People didn't try.
That's in May.
People just didn't try.
And here we are in September, and now it's too late to try.
Yeah.
So
The part that really sucks is his tweets yesterday. He's
Like
like,
on a tour?
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
I wish this tour started tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I do too.
But all right, well, as you heard, our intro was Mac. Our outro is going to be Mac. So, but we don't want to continue to make everybody listening sad. So now we're going to talk about some sports.
But they're listening. They're already sad.
If you're listening to this show, you're probably already sad. But you're
Join
happier.
the club.
You're happier listening to this, knowing the fact that the Nardos Dugout is no longer. So, we will now jump into sports. We're going to have Kellen Gursky on in a little bit, but we're going to talk about the NFL last. I don't know if you guys have listened, just this week, if you missed the last couple of weeks or whatever. We're going to do a new, like, system where we're going, like, MLB, NHL, NFL, just because of, the season's changing. So, little bit in MLB. Looks like 2 guys that are pretty well known, both in the American League, are going to need some Tommy John surgery. Michael Kopech, I believe I'm saying that right,
Yeah.
based off the pronunciation that I heard from my phone. And, of
Which
course,
is so
Ohtani
trustworthy. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
have both been recommended to have Tommy John. So those are 2 pretty big names, both in the American League, which sucks. So, I mean, that means their 2019s are out the window.
Well, Ohtani's isn't.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. From a pitching standpoint,
Yeah.
neither one are going to pitch for.
He's the first player to hit 2 home runs at the day of being recommended Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
How long is the recovery if you for non-pitching if you have Tommy John?
It's got to be like 8 months.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know because it doesn't really. You don't really have
who was
Tommy
the,
John.
The catcher for the Chase D'Arnaud's brother, Travis d'Arnaud,
Yeah.
had it. The Mets catcher.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it took him to come back.
He came back midway through the season,
And-
right? This year? I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not totally
Generally
sure.
speaking, the recovery time for a pitcher is a year. You got to imagine you got to at least knock a month or 2 off that just because wear and tear.
Yeah.
So, you never know, though. Everyone's different.
But we'll see how Ohtani's able to hit.
Yeah. That'll be interesting.
Did you hear about the Tigers broadcasters
No.
getting into a physical altercation after a game, and now they're not? They're suspended for the rest of the season.
With each other? Or
Yes. So they've been together for like over a decade, and apparently they've never really
liked each other?
gotten along.
Yeah.
And so they just got into a physical altercation after a game this past week.
10
Like,
years.
imagine hearing that about like Greg Brown and Bob Walk.
That'd be hysterical. Or Bob Block and Joe Block. That one I could see happening.
Then they could just sanction a boxing match or something
For
Walk versus
charity.
Block. Yeah.
Greg Brown is the reason that Bob Walk fell out of his chair. Actually, he took a screw out of the
Conspiracy
chair.
theory.
Yeah.
Good God. Bob
Um,
Walk would believe that, too.
and this is astonishing. Apparently, the Angels said that they're going to offer Mike Trout an extension.
Oh, no way.
Wow.
Why wouldn't you offer the
That's
best
what,
player
that's
in
what
the
I'm
MLB?
saying. It like didn't give any type of like. It obviously wasn't giving like a figure or the amount of years. It's
Yeah.
just Angels say that they will offer Mike Trout an extension.
Hey,
Yeah,
I have
of
news
course.
for everyone. The Steelers offered Le'Veon Bell an extension. Guess what happened? He said no.
Yeah, which Trout's probably gonna do.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
I
yeah.
told Smitty on the way here. Trout's probably calling the Phillies, be like, "Listen, what are you going to offer me in 2 years so I know if I need to decline this?"
Yeah. And and he was also at the Eagles game last night. So
He's taking a discount to go to Philly. I'm calling it.
I mean, Philly's a big market; they can pay him.
Oh.
Not as much as
by the time
like
he's
the
there,
Yankees or Dodgers.
By the time he's there, I'm curious to see what that team looks like.
Oh, it's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. I just want them to win
Maybe
this year.
maybe they'll win the division then.
Yeah.
That's not happening this year. Shout out to the Braves.
They came in so clutch for you.
And then last thing in MLB, Kevin Kramer's just started tonight for the Pirates.
Literally
We'll see
right
that.
behind you.
Is he? They show him.
Yeah.
Starting at second, but they didn't get him and Newman out there together. Mercer's starting at short.
What?
Okay, I might be missing something. It's a Seinfeld reference. What is it?
That Kramer and Newman were the two main.
It's two
Well,
characters.
not two main characters, but two of the main characters.
I knew Kramer was. I just didn't really know who Newman was.
Kramer's the.
I know
tall,
who
crazy
Kramer
one.
The dude with
Kramer's the tiny dude with glasses who's real fat.
Oh, really? Okay.
Even I knew that, and I hate Seinfeld.
I've never been into it.
I hate it. It's a show with no point, and
I
it's
don't
not
think
even
my
funny.
parents have ever watched it.
Wait, is Newman the dude from the meme? It's not for the Seinfeld meme, but it's like he turns around and like shouts something and says, "See, nobody cares." Is it that dude? I think I might be.
Me and Smith
Are
just
they-
looked
is
at
he
each
in
other.
Is he in Jurassic Park
Yes,
and gets sprayed with ink
I think so.
by the
He's
one
wearing the
dinosaur?
weird safari hat.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
We're showing our
Because
age.
it wasn't George.
No.
'Cause-
no.
okay.
Not George Costanza.
Yeah.
Costanza.
George
Yeah.
Costanza. Yeah, it wasn't him.
Costanza?
Yeah.
Costanza.
Yeah.
Costanza.
For some reason, my brain wanted me to say the T before the S or something.
George Contos.
Costanza. George Contos.
Oh well.
All right. A little bit in the NHL. The Stars and Tyler Seguin hope to have an extension done before the season starts.
Ha.
By the way,
Again.
I followed his sister on Instagram.
Wow. Wait, you followed Sagan's sister?
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Just turned 20.
Wait.
Just
hold on.
Did you learn that from Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was talking to my friend Nick Rita, and he was like,
I
can't
thought
remember-
for a second Gregoric, and I was about to walk out.
no, we were talking about Tyler Seguin because we were talking about it's like, oh, nice to know that like Seguin was the second fiddle. Like they weren't even discussing an extension when they were talking about getting Carlson, and now all
Oh,
of a
yeah.
sudden, yeah, they want to get an extension done with Seguin.
I mean,
And
they're not wrong.
no, but it's like good on like Seguin, the loyalty to the organization to like know that they probably weren't giving you an extension if they got Eric Carlson, and now he wants to be there still. But anyway, so we started talking. He's like, yeah, I followed his sister on Instagram. She's sexy. So I went and looked, and boom.
He said it. I didn't.
I'm 23. What are you're acting like I'm like a 40-year-old guy talking about a 16-year-old right now.
It's just weird. I don't. I.
So you tell
Yeah.
us not to talk about how young you are, but you're the same age.
yeah.
Well, I mean, technically, I'm like almost a year older, unless
How old are you right now?
20.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
You will be 21
In
for like
about a month.
10 of the months that she's 20.
Yeah. A year.
Yeah.
I'm rounding up. I don't care.
Never mind. I almost said something stupid.
Oh.
Speaking of extensions, Blake Wheeler got one.
Really? What was it?
5 years, $41.25 million.
Oh. That's not bad.
And it's over 8.
That's still not bad.
8.75 maybe. If my math's
So
not
he's
terrible.
making Sidney Crosby money.
Yeah,
Well,
but a lot of people are making Sidney Crosby money now.
Yeah. That's not bad
I
at
say
all, man.
Sidney Crosby is making Connor McDavid money for 2012.
2012, more like 2010.
2012. Signed the contract in 2012.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just realized something that's funny for my
Oh,
next
no.
topic.
What?
So I had about the Nate Schmidt extension.
Yeah.
Suspension. And I put Schmidt PSD instead of PED suspension.
PSD.
Yeah.
PSD underwear. Shout out to Ninja.
What the fuck?
It's one of his sponsors.
Is he still revealing merch little by little,
Yeah.
Ninja?
Yeah. And who bought it? What's the dude's I think of
Riveting
his Twitter handle.
fucking content.
Yeah. I can think of his Twitter handle. He just got drafted this year as a running back.
Wait, what?
A running back that got drafted this year.
Kerryon Johnson, Ronald Jones.
I don't know. Geis, what's his Twitter handle?
Darius Geis. Doesn't actually have his name, I don't think.
No, but I'm pretty sure he bought Ninja's
Really?
PSD underwear.
The fuck?
Why?
I don't know.
He has money. What am I going to do with my $4 million signing bonus? Oh, I'll buy fucking underwear.
Yeah, how much is PSD underwear?
Now you're gonna buy it. It's DHA sickest.
Yeah, the sickest.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it was.
DHA sickest.
Yeah, if he bought a
We're
pair of
off
his
the
underwear.
rails. This is gone.
We're talking about underwear. We finally got the show where I wanted it to be. We need. You know what? Let's do an FMK.
Of who?
Donato's dugout.
Well, I'm killing Donato. Killing Donato.
I mean, I
Okay.
feel like I gotta.
You got to reciprocate.
I gotta
man.
say, I'm smashing Geddes.
Oh, he's not reciprocating.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
He
hasn't
could
married
be, unless he decides to kill Tyler. Wait, no, you'd still be.
I didn't get
How-
killed by anyone.
No, because Tyler said
Oh,
he
yeah,
fucked
that's
me 'cause
right.
I'm too
So
nice
you
to
got to
die.
kill somebody that didn't kill you.
Yeah, I know. That's sad. Feels bad, man.
Did you kill the depressed one or the old one?
Wait, did DiNardo and DiNardo and Tyler both married me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because they want to kill me. Well, no,
we
Tyler
were
wants
on
to fuck me.
NHL and now we're here. Wow. Let's see.
I realized how much time we're gonna have.
That's true.
Filler.
I have to weigh the options. I mean,
I have to weigh the options.
do I want to marry an alcoholic from Ohio?
From Youngstown, not Ohio.
It's not
Youngstown.
gonna. Yeah,
Well, he's really from Lisbon.
That's even worse.
I don't see it working out.
Well, my family's from Ohio.
Long term, I just don't see it working
Long
out.
term, I see a divorce before you're 40.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess I'll have to kill Tyler and marry DiNardo. I feel bad, though, because none of them killed me. I don't really want to kill anyone, but I
Yeah.
have
Well,
to.
Tyler's dead.
It's the name of the game.
I'm not going to answer other than I'm killing Nardo. I'll
Tyler's
kill him
dead.
3 times over.
Mine's gonna be the same as mine's getting reciprocated. The exact same way.
I hate that word right now. I hate that word.
Oh, I could go for a gyro right now.
Want to go down the street?
Yeah, we can literally walk right up the street.
All right, so I know that Beefy's been waiting for this for a long time. It's been a while since we were talking about college football in here. So, I don't
Oh,
know if you
yeah.
guys heard the little click. But
How long are we in?
Not long.
Say, we are moving.
yeah,
We've
that's
only
the
been
thing, I
recording for
mean-
17 minutes?
Yeah.
yeah.
that's
I mean,
how
we're gonna be
numbers work.
talking about the NFL probably for a while, but
Yeah, that's true.
I knew that this was gonna happen this week. There just wasn't.
I was just thinking there's nothing else in NHL. They had their media day, or media tour, or whatever.
Yeah, Fleury messing with Crosby and
Yeah.
Malkin.
And Crosby does not like the Capitals winning.
Yeah, their comments were pretty. I mean,
Unexpectedly salty.
I guess, yeah. And saying it would it will light a fire under the Penguins, and Malkin obviously.
Penguins.
Malkin said that he hated seeing them win it, and he
Say
knows that
Crosby
Pittsburgh
said he has
hates seeing
something
them
to. It seems like he has something to prove.
win it. Yeah, so 3-4 confirmed.
I don't know if you guys knew that Crosby, in his house each year since, I think since the first year he made the playoffs, he has the picture of the captain holding the cup every year hanging in his house.
That's a little crazy.
Hmm.
How do you know this?
That would look really weird to outside
I
people.
watched some documentary and he showed it.
That's very odd for outside people to think about.
And so I guess it's like looking at the other ones, it's like more of a drive for it. So I guess that next picture with Ovi holding
Oh
the
no,
cup.
yeah, I get that. It
Yeah.
just like I said, it seems weird.
Sidney
it obviously
Crosby
makes
is secretly
sense.
a psychopath.
He's worn the same jog strap since he was 17, so I don't
Okay.
know if it's
confirmed psychopath.
This Kevin Kramer's wearing number 44.
Cool.
Brooks.
There's zero chance he's gonna be good.
The fuck does that mean?
He's an infielder wearing number 44.
He's not wearing 24 though.
That's true.
Oh yeah, I don't know if Chris Archer had 3 strikeouts.
By the way, we're
Yeah.
talking about college football.
Yeah, we were starting to talk about college football.
Yeah,
What you've been waiting for, and all of a sudden you decide to switch the
He sounds like he does not
topic
care.
unexpectedly.
just because I looked and we only had been talking for 17 minutes.
Stall. Stall.
Kenny Pickett.
What about him?
Heisman.
Did you see the voting? This like college football Twitter thing ran a poll. It's like, who would you rather have as your favorite college's quarterback, Kenny Pickett or Shea Patterson? Kenny Pickett like ran away with it.
Oh wow.
Shea Patterson, the dude from Michigan, right?
Yeah, that everyone was hyping up.
Michigan has no offense. They have no identity on offense.
By the way, very bold
So
statement.
I wouldn't want him either. What?
Very bold statement. Pitt's winning.
Not bold.
Not bold.
Not
It's
bold.
happening.
Not bold.
I know.
It was actually one of their. They did top 3. I mean, it's obviously probably taking into consideration the 8.5 point line, but it was
Yeah.
like the 3 best bets for this weekend, and it was Pitt
Yeah.
with the 8.5.
I mean, after last weekend, you have zero confidence in that Penn State team.
exactly. I almost think that it's better that they didn't lose, but won the way that they did.
Yeah, because this week it'll be even more heartbreaking.
Yeah, like.
But would it have been better if they just blown them out?
What do you mean?
That
If
way
they-
they don't have any. Like,
but I'm saying it
anything
was
to
still
prove.
it was still sweet
No.
to watch them come that close with and no discredit to Appalachian State. I mean, we've seen them beat Michigan.
They can play
Yeah.
big
Talk about-
schools well.
Yeah.
See, here's the
Big schools are gonna stop scheduling them.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know why any big school since 2007 has scheduled them when they beat Michigan.
Oh,
But-
sit. Nope. Sorry.
But where was I?
Well, I was gonna say, I'm happier they lost or won by 3 in a way, because if they would have blown them out, they'd have confidence in themselves. Right now, you won by 3 against the school that's never going to be
I
ranked.
say plus the starters still had to play the whole game. If they blew them out, that probably doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just thinking. I think it's the ideal scenario because if they lose that game, then they're coming into this game pissed off. If they blew them out, like I said, they're getting that rest for probably at least a quarter. But they came so close with them. There's got to be some doubt in their mind now.
Yeah. So you're going with Jamal, right?
Yeah.
Are you going?
No.
Fuck. I
Why?
might.
Oh.
You might.
I'm definitely gonna be on the North Shore tomorrow. I can tell you that much. I just don't know if I'm
Are you
going
going to
the
the Pirate game tomorrow?
No.
Then why are you going to be on the North Shore?
I want to experience
Experience what?
the fucking idiots.
Penn State.
Yeah.
There's a
So
lot of
tailgating starts at 5.
Yeah. The game
And
starts at
then
8.
You have to apparently you have to be wrapping it up and go into the stadium at 7:15.
I'm not surprised. College kids are the fucking worst.
How are they enforcing this? That's what I'm curious to see.
I don't know. I don't know if Pittsburgh police is just going to go around and have you stop tailgating.
It's going to be the
Go
same
inside.
thing. Yeah. It's going to be the same thing it is every year. Do this. Absolutely nothing enforced. Absolutely nothing.
That's what
Well,
I'm
I
saying.
don't
It
know if
just
they're
almost
necessarily
seems
make you go inside. I think they might just make you stop tailgating
Yeah.
because they can enforce that.
Who cares?
Mm-hmm. It's just really
You know what it is? It's honestly to drive business into the restaurants before the game. That's honestly what it is.
I don't really care. I'm not tailgating, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not all about tailgating all like that either, but
yeah.
I'm just thinking that's kind of crazy. What is so what 2? You said it starts at 5. They have to be inside at 7:30 or start doing
7:15.
7:15 or something.
So just over 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, the thing is, I get why they're doing that. But what if people are just literally genuinely just grilling and having fun? I get you.
Fuck
don't
your
being
fun.
idiots, but all right. But
If you wanted to have fun, you would have bought a ticket.
yeah. that's true.
Yeah. If you
That's true.
actually had fun, you wouldn't be drunk already.
Wait, so you might go to the game?
Might. I don't know. If there's a ticket that's not over $60, maybe.
Good luck.
What?
The only way that happens is if it's tomorrow and
raining.
somebody all of a sudden finds out that they can't go
Yeah.
and
And-
puts a ticket on stuff.
See, here's the thing I'm betting on. A, it's going to be raining almost all day. B, it's going to be colder than usual.
Cheapest ticket after fees is $108.
C, as soon as the game starts, scalpers drop their price immensely.
Yeah.
So, I don't care if I miss kickoff, whatever.
You're gonna miss Maurice French return another one.
Beefy's gonna miss kickoff of our BYU Cougars.
I'm gonna miss the first half,
Yeah.
maybe
You-
even the third quarter.
I thought you were going to say BYU Beefy.
The BYU Beefies.
You should make your name on Twitter B and then Eefy and then YU.
Yeah.
You mean like my actual @? Or
no,
your Twitter name.
Your
Okay.
username. But they play Cal.
Yeah.
Correct.
Cal U?
I've now favored them on the store.
Really?
No, not Cal U.
I know.
Cal Berkeley. Aaron Shortridge.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, not Cal U.
What is the over/under on that game?
The over/under? You mean like the
What is
total
the- I
points
meant-
or the line?
I'm sorry, I meant the line, not the over/under. I don't care about total
The
points.
last time I checked, it was 3.
They're sleeping again.
Yeah, I know. It's really a shame that somebody would think that's it.
Did the Pack not learn their lesson?
It dropped to 2.5. You kidding me? BYU's winning by double digits, so I don't know.
Oh, BYU's favorited.
Yeah.
Okay, I just assumed Cal was favorited.
No, Cal's not favored.
Okay.
BYU. Okay, so just get how like shocking this is. BYU went 4-9 last year.
Yeah.
Their worst statistical like offensive season since 1955. And last week, or I guess this week, after their win in Arizona, they received 3 votes in the AP poll for the top 25. Like, I know that's like meaningless, but like think about how different that is.
I don't necessarily think it's meaningless. I think that what that tells me is how little they thought of the offensive coordinator and how different change could be. Like they know that.
Well, Ty Detmer wasn't good.
And, yeah.
That just shows.
And obviously, like we already talked about, I mean, well, you basically told me I wouldn't have known this, but like, you know, the changes that Tanner Magnum's made, like he's a totally different person than.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, that just shows for Ty Detmer, just because you're good at the game doesn't mean you're like good at coaching.
No, I almost feel like it's the opposite. I feel like it's the guys that are kind of like role players that are better coaches, and the stars aren't good.
Yeah, because I mean, like Ty Detmer, obviously, I don't know if anybody that's listening doesn't know by now by me saying it, he's a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
So
now I do want to talk about some other teams. I hope that John is listening to this, and I want him to chime in and tweet us talking about Michigan, his thoughts. Because
isn't he a Michigan fan?
Yeah,
that
sucks.
So
we already kind of brought up Shea Patterson. I know that there was high expectations, him included, with Shea there, and I know it's only one game, but it's not just one game for Harbaugh there. He's 8-8 in his last 16. I mean, that's not. They were expecting him to come there and build up championship teams.
Yeah,
and it hasn't happened. And how much longer? What are the chances that he's on the hot seat by the end of the year?
I think it just depends on how this year goes.
That's what I mean.
If they, I don't think they're winning the Big Ten.
No.
So, but if he doesn't beat Ohio State this year, because he hasn't yet.
Yeah.
If he doesn't beat Ohio State, let alone like what he does in the rest of the schedule, I do not think that I think he will be on the hot seat if he loses to Ohio State again.
Yeah. I'm just curious as to how much like people don't even care about the wins and losses just because of his name and like the relevance that he brings.
Yeah, I mean like that's the thing. He may not have a good record as a coach, but he's a good recruiter.
Yeah.
Just by who he is. So, I mean, do you want to sacrifice that for getting someone else, or do you want to stay, like, getting these recruits and just hope that it works out?
So if you're replacing him, it's got to be a slam dunk.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Like the next guy has to be.
You
ready
can't
to
get worse. Like if you get worse, then the boosters are gonna freak out.
Yeah, then you might as well just merge with Michigan State.
Merge.
And also,
everybody says Michigan State is a little brother. But they're not.
They haven't been for a while.
Like since like the mid 2000s, Michigan State has been Big Brother. So
yeah, but I'm curious to get John's thoughts on Harbaugh and Shea Patterson and the Michigan program as a whole. But also wanted to bring up Miami, who apparently Kenny Pickett broke.
Yeah, they were buns on Sunday night. Was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday night.
Yeah. They played the Sunday night game against LSU and got destroyed.
I mean, what was the final score? Like 35-17? That 17 was like garbage time points. They had 7 for the majority of the game.
The score, you can't look at the score of that game and say, it was a close game. 18 points is still 18 points, but it wasn't even that close.
Yeah, no.
The box score does not match the eye test. And Miami probably came into the season overranked because of what they did last year leading up to the game where they played Pitt. I don't think that they're that good. And I mean, people are now overhyping LSU, I think. But I think that game's more so Miami not being as good as they're ranked as LSU being better than what they came in ranked.
No, I was actually really surprised whenever Miami came in ranked 8th.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, preseason polls aren't like
they should. I don't even think they should be a thing, to be honest with you. I think they should play. I think they should come out with the first poll like 4 weeks in, at least. I mean, you get why they do it. It obviously builds up, excitement and hype. So, but I think I saw Josh Banks tweet about it too, that they probably shouldn't even release a poll until week 6 because, you have situations like with Miami.
Yeah. I mean, week 8 is whenever they release the college football playoff poll.
Yeah. Which is
what really matters.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like week 8, you could be in the top 4 in the AP poll, and then on Sunday, and then on Tuesday, you're out of it on the college football playoff poll. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miami, they are not as good as they seem, or as they were ranked. And yeah, Kenny Pickett broke them last year.
They haven't won.
That game was fun. I was there. Jamal was there. It was a good time. It was like the late November, and I was sweating. It was like 60-some degrees, and I'm wearing this hoodie and jeans. And it's like I took off my hoodie because I couldn't stand it.
They're about to get Kenny Pickett jersey. We saw that one on Twitter that was white, and it's beautiful. I mean, in my head, I had I was getting blue, but I saw that white one.
With the yellow outline on the numbers?
Yeah.
Oh, Michigan plays at Ohio State.
Oh, they're fucked.
Just take the L now.
They ran wild in week 1. I mean, they played cupcakes.
Yeah, they score 77 points.
They play cupcakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
call
cupcake team.
Yeah.
Soft team.
You put a cupcake on your schedule. Kick off the season.
I've never heard that.
Unless you're
Really?
BYU.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
there's some big games like, Notre Dame played Michigan.
Miami,
talked about
LSU,
Miami,
Virginia
LSU.
Tech. Who'd they play? Virginia Tech.
That was the Monday night game.
Why can't I
It
think
was
of it?
19
It was
versus
19-20.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer. I don't know what you're looking for here.
Why am I broken?
Obviously, it wasn't that memorable.
Virginia Tech won, right?
I like how he started singing instead of trying to find the answer.
Florida State.
Yeah.
They killed Florida State.
Francois.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Was that not the game he got hurt?
No, that was last season.
Oh, you're talking about this week.
Yeah, we're talking about.
Ah.
Yeah.
And then,
He got hurt against Alabama last year in the opener. Alabama played Louisville, but
yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Like, it's not a cupcake, but for Alabama it is.
for this year,
For this year it is.
is somebody going to beat Alabama this year?
Well, I remember last year.
Yeah.
I said like the whole season. Let me look at their schedule.
Hey, nonstop flights to Seattle. From Pittsburgh to Seattle. I'm down. Let's do it.
PAX West was last week. What's the point going now?
Mariners.
Not making the playoffs.
Who cares? It's the Mariners. And that city is nice.
Rain.
I love it.
Let's see. Alabama.
On the boombox, baby.
So they play at LSU. And they're
L.
like the only two teams I'd look at for losses are at LSU and they're home against Auburn this year.
You just say Auburn?
Auburn.
We know there's Ole Miss. I won't say they have their number, but of the teams, they've lost to them, 3 times since 2011?
I think so.
Something like that.
Fake.
So that, I mean, I think they're the only team that's beaten them multiple times like that.
Ole Miss beat Texas Tech 47-27.
Where does Alabama play Ole Miss?
At Ole Miss in 2 weeks.
I'm not saying that Ole Miss is going to win that game.
Yeah.
I'm not
But if
saying.
I'm saying if we're just looking at Alabama's schedule for games for them to possibly lose,
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd circle that one.
And
I don't
come
like
back to
this.
it later.
I don't like this thing with 2 quarterbacks for Alabama.
It's weird.
The old saying is if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any.
Yeah, I
And
really
one
don't.
is clearly better than the other.
I don't really know why Nick Saban doesn't roll with Tua.
I know. How do you pronounce his last name?
Don't know.
Hold on. I did know it.
Tua Tawawawawa.
Tua Vallejo.
Dude, that's why, like, you think that one name is hard. Anybody calling a BYU versus Utah game
Oh,
has such a hard time because half the team is Polynesian
yeah.
for both teams.
Are Polynesians preferably Mormon?
I mean, there's a lot of Polynesians that are Mormon.
Oh,
So,
okay. more
Hand
you
in
know.
hand.
Yeah.
Tua
It's kinda like-
Tagovailoa.
It's kind of like people.
I'm pretty
in,
sure that's it. Tua Tagovailoa.
It's kind of like people in
Tug.
Oregon
Tagovailoa.
Being-
Tagovailoa. Yeah.
vegan.
Wait, what?
I
What did you say?
Oregon is a very vegan area.
Oh.
Like
I thought you said
Place.
Mormon and vegan. I'm like, no, look at me.
there's like everything's organic. There's like as many bike trails as there are roads.
But just because something's organic
And-
doesn't make it vegan.
No, I know it's not. I'm saying and also
Although between those 2 quarterbacks, Nick Saban had a great soundbite.
What didn't he freak
Whenever-
out on some
whenever-
reporter?
Yeah, I'm not going to. So quit asking. Whenever she asks, like, if they learned anything about the 2 quarterbacks, because he's basically like, you're trying to get me to like disrespect one of them by saying like he did bad, and I'm not going to. So quit asking. So people
Okay
were
then.
using that all weekend.
Fair enough. Was there
Um,
anything else?
for college football,
Yeah.
I mean,
I zoned out on pretty much this entire conversation.
is there
so.
anything else? I was to say, did you listen to anything we said?
No. No. Not at all.
Let's see, big games this week. Obviously Pitt and Penn State play.
Yep. If you're a betting man, bet fit.
I watched
Bet fit.
Bet Pitt.
so Alan Saunders from Pittsburgh Sports Now.
Yeah.
He had a video of it was like Football Friday
yeah.
thing, and I
Mhm.
watched it, and he was like, obviously Trace McSorley has more starts than Kenny Pickett by far. He has 28. Kenny Pickett has 1 start, and he's played in 3 games. But if you're just looking at percentages, Kenny Pickett and Trace McSorley are very similar quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like their completions percentage, their yards per carry, and like yards per gain, like everything is like similar. The only thing was like Pickett was like, I think the only thing that was really different was their size. Trace McSorley is like 6
Their
foot,
size.
201, and then Pickett's like 6'2", 220.
Yeah.
Their
But-
size.
I'm not high on McSorley. I mean,
not
See,
either.
to me, like he said he was like he was going to be the best athlete on the field.
Fuck him.
And like, yeah, I mean, all these people love Trace McSorley. Like Kirk Herbstreit picked him to win the Heisman. I know people talked about him for the Heisman last year and this year. To me, I think he's been one of the more overrated college quarterbacks in his tenure
I have a question.
for the light that people put him in.
When
I guess.
Hey, Josh
Oh, yeah,
Bell, my
home
dad
run.
did something. Or my grandfather, excuse me.
I got the alert before I noticed on TV.
When was the last Penn State quarterback that was good in the NFL?
In the NFL,
Yeah. Ta-da.
I don't know.
It's another reason why I hate college football. You can produce a quarterback
Not
that's
Christian Hackenberg.
good in
Well, that's the
college.
thing. You can be a good college quarterback.
But once you make it to the NFL, you're ass.
Yeah, the game doesn't translate.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's 2 different games, and I hate it.
But that's not even what we're talking about.
I know.
We're not talking about Ken McSorley play
That was just
level.
that was
'cause
just
no.
my question.
Yeah.
That was
I just don't think, and I could be completely wrong, and people can disagree with me, but I feel like McSorley is not as good as the light that people put him in, or
Oh,
like
they
the
will.
mantle that people put him on.
they will disagree with you on
I mean, that was a great drive at the end of the game against Appalachian State. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, but
You
I
know,
feel
and
like
if that
a lot of the time,
continues against higher competition throughout this season without having the weapons that he had last year, then
the
you know,
weapons. You mean Saquon?
and Gesicki,
Oh
and
yeah.
Deshaun Hamilton.
Hamilton.
All I heard was Saquon.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
last
he had
year
a- he had-
alone,
he
you
had
had
a very good
you had the best running back and the best tight end in college football.
The year before
Yeah.
that, he had a receiver that's now with the Buccaneers, Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
I mean, constantly having talent around him. So, I mean, he's got to be. I'm not saying he's bad.
No,
By any
I'm not.
means.
I'm not saying he's bad either.
I don't consider him a Heisman candidate.
He's mainly a product of his teammates.
Yeah, I honestly don't think he's
Terry
bad.
Bradshaw,
I just
yeah. Yeah.
don't see him as the light that people
a
put him
premier
in.
college player.
Yeah, I mean, like, people are making it out like he's Johnny Manziel or Tim Tebow.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's neither one of those
Both of them
Like-
were shit.
I just don't see it when I'm
in the
watching.
NFL, but in college, that's like top tier.
Did he just? No. Okay.
In,
He did not.
in college, like, you can't get much better than Tebow or Manziel.
oh yeah, I know.
That's like people want to talk about bad about how Johnny Manziel was. In college, he was a stud.
Yeah.
Like, and no one can deny that. If they do, they're an idiot.
And it's like, obviously, you can watch a college football game and see a good player, know when you're watching somebody. But it's like, he was more than that. It was like like just being an electric player, like kind of like Cam Newton today in the NFL. It's like you're just watching something totally different. Like that's what you got when you were watching Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow. You don't. I don't get that when I'm watching Trace McSorley.
I mean, and I think part of that is they can run. That's a big thing about college quarterbacks is like there are some good college quarterbacks that are pocket power passers, but a lot of great college quarterbacks are
Pocket
Like-
power.
pocket power. They can pass,
Rocket power.
but they can also run too. And that's the thing. Like Johnny Manziel, for like his size, he was just so like elusive whenever he ran out of the pocket.
Yeah.
You
To that
couldn't
point,
get
though,
him down.
to the point about not necessarily being a runner. Look at Tua in Alabama. I mean, he's mobile, but I don't see him as a runner.
Mm-hmm.
And
quarterback
and he still has that like factor about him.
Well,
I don't know
I
if it's
mean,
just like
I
that.
think that's kind of similar to how Kenny Pickett is, and Trace McSorley. He can run. That's not what he's known for, I don't
Yeah.
think.
No,
But-
I guess I'm just trying to think of guys that I would consider electric without
Okay.
necessarily the running aspect. Like literally just because they're such a good pocket passer. I really like Jake Fromm in Georgia.
For me,
But-
for me, I would say a pocket passer. He doesn't play anymore. He got drafted. Josh Rosen, I thought, was an electric pocket passer. His game against Texas A&M,
Was that the
Last year?
comeback that was on?
yeah,
ESPN?
they were losing. It would going into like the fourth quarter, they were losing by like 30 some points, and they came back and won.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, so prediction for Penn State.
Do I want to put a score on
Um,
that? I don't know if I want to put a score on that.
I don't care if you put a score on
I'm
it.
I'm expecting a pretty high scoring game. I don't know if shootout's the right word because I'm not talking like Big 12 offense,
not talking about like 70, 60
Yeah.
something.
but I'll say we'll go 34-30 Pitt. I mean, would you guys consider that high scoring? I mean, 64 total points. I don't know.
I would. I don't feel
Yeah.
like that's a normal score of a football game, you know?
Well, for NFL, it's not. For college,
yeah.
it's yeah. I mean, I said last night because BK tweeted out after asking for a prediction. I said Pitt, and I said 34-28. So pretty similar.
You got anything as far as a prediction?
I'm just saying Pitt's going to win.
I mean, I like that answer.
I don't want to overextend
We'll
my
take it.
college football knowledge.
Yeah, I just want to say Donnie can suck it.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
don't
a
wanna
shame.
say
It's a
that.
shame he couldn't come on tonight. But,
Yeah.
The night before the game,
he
that
hit
would've been
his
great.
goal though. He had 5,000 followers
did.
before kickoff.
I had no idea he was even around 5,000 followers.
Okay, so before we move on,
Well, we're
not even gonna move on.
BYU score. What are we thinking?
Uh,
Because I pulled you and Ryan on the bandwagon. BYU stands. And Jamal doesn't want to admit it, but he's on it too.
Jamal doesn't want to admit it. He can't admit it.
31-27. BYU.
31-27.
Yes.
I'm insulted.
That's
It
over
should
the
be
spread.
more.
I'm saying BYU's going to win, obviously. I mean, that's not a question.
Duh.
Also, if they win, they win, actually. It'll be the
Jesus.
first time.
I've never seen.
What?
I've never seen someone so cocky about BYU football.
When they win, if they lose, I'm going to kill myself. But if they win,
Topical.
jeez. I am, bro, too soon. when they win, it will be the first time that BYU has opened up to a 2-0 record against Power 5 opponents since 1984. And do you know what happened in 1984?
No.
BYU won the national championship.
What was that?
Nothing. Never mind.
No, we need to know because that's on camera.
I was gonna say, isn't that the last song that we want to play?
Sure.
Also, BYU. Okay. Also, BYU in 1984. I don't know who their second game was, but their first game was on the road at Panther Stadium in Pittsburgh, or in Oakland.
Oh.
Pitt was ranked number 3.
Needless facts no one needs to know with Tyler Weeks.
Yeah, that was the year they won the national title. But yeah, I'm gonna say BYU wins 35-21. Winning by 14.
I feel like that's low on the cockiness level that he was giving off.
I mean the spread's 2.5,
Yeah.
so I'm saying
Never mind.
they win by 14.
Never mind.
But,
Oh, but believe me, I'm being cocky right now because the cockiest level. Shut up. The cocky level will go insanely down the following week.
The cocky level.
They play Wisconsin.
so
So, I'm being cocky right now.
they need to beat Wisconsin for my Ohio State Buckeyes.
If they beat Wisconsin, I might not show up to our show the following week. I might be, still celebrating.
Well, all right, we're gonna be back talking about the NFL with Kellen Gursky, but
We're going to try to just ignore what Tyler just said.
so we'll be right back.
I'ma do my thing until the day the reaper come for me. You can keep on grilling, I'ma smell back. I don't be like fuck you, what you need, you can't get nothing from me. You was talking shit, now I'm somebody you would love to be. I'ma do my thing until the day the reaper come for me. You can keep on grilling, I'ma smell back. Don't used to tell me I was fake, they would hate, now they on my dick.
They did. Do
We didn't get any questions. By the way, you can still talk in your mic. YouTube's still going.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
sorry, I just went off.
Yeah.
You got me You got me talking about college football. And
He knows we're
whenever
calling.
I start, I just can't stop.
He knows we're calling. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Casey Davis.
Aren't we still recording on YouTube?
Yeah. What? I didn't say anything. I didn't even type his number in yet.
Oh.
I was just saying Casey Davis because I saw a notification.
Congratulations, Casey. You just made YouTube.
We had one question from Smiter.
Oh, that's right. Well, we can talk. That's
Oh,
good.
who
'Cause
cares?
It's about
Hello.
it's about this
Hello.
anyway. So,
Hey, how we doing?
Good.
all right.
Well, decent.
Well, that's good, I suppose.
He just had to listen to me rant about college football, and he's not a big fan.
Not
so,
college football. BYU.
Hey,
Oh, yeah. I don't know much about BYU, so.
Welcome to
not
the
many
party.
people do. My dad's from Utah, so
all right.
that's how
So
that happened.
Okay. Do we have a scheme to what we want to go over, Smitty?
we have a scheme.
Okay.
The scheme is set. Stay scheming.
Okay. So let me get started here in a second.
Alrighty, and we are back with this week's guest, Kellen Gursky. How we doing today?
Good, man. Hey, thanks for having me. I'm more than excited to do this with you guys.
Absolutely. So we got in touch basically through a mutual friend, and I found out kind of the stuff that you have going on, and I thought it would be a good fit. So I reached out to you, and happy we were able to make this happen. Relatively quickly, after we first got in contact. So definitely great to have you, and I'm excited to talk some football, mainly Steelers, but we got some other stuff to cover. So
Okay.
Let's jump right into it. Obviously, the NFL season kicked off yesterday.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw it this way, but I almost fell asleep during the game up until the last couple of minutes, the last drive for the Falcons.
Yeah.
It starts off with like a half-hour delay due to weather.
Oh, yeah.
So, and by the way, probably mainly due to that, it was like the second lowest rated
Mhm.
opener
That game, yeah.
since, and it was after the Giants Redskins when they opened up after the Giants had won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw it the same way. I mean, it was sloppy too. Like there was 35 flags or something like that.
Ooh.
Like,
yeah,
I mean, it was just like there was no flow to the game. And I think only was talking about this on one of the shows I produced with. I think only 4 receivers caught passes in that game. That's like criminal, like because the rules now in the NFL set up for receivers to catch the ball. But only 4 receivers from both teams combined caught the ball last night, which is just crazy.
yeah, and nobody besides Herb had anybody that did anything in fantasy.
Yeah.
So
I
fantasy owners weren't too happy.
I
with
may or
last
may
night's
not have
game.
laid waste to Smitty's team already.
Yeah, what is I think the
The projections were like maybe 30 points between the two. I got 50.
no, I mean I'm looking at the chance of winning. Didn't
Oh,
it jump
yeah,
to like
it went from-
70
yeah,
for you?
Yeah, it went from like 50-50 to 70-30.
Julio and Jai.
Yeah.
That was it. But Matt Ryan over the last 2 years now, 1 for 20 targeting Julio Jones in the red zone.
Insane, absolutely insane. Because you'd think that's your go-to guy, but they
Yeah.
just can't connect in the red zone. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not putting that on Julio, but that's what makes it funny to me when you have the AB Julio debate and people say, well, he doesn't get the looks in the red zone. No, he definitely is getting the looks. Now, whether
Yeah.
they're catchable balls or not, I don't know. That's a
Last
different
night was
story.
definitely not.
No. Definitely not the first one. The one that ended the game, I don't think that we really had a chance
No.
to get his feet down on.
No.
But it's still just crazy. 1 out of 20 over the last 2 years targeting a top 3 receiver in the league. And then, of course, I don't think it looks too serious for Devontae Freeman. He said he's okay. But the Falcons lost Keanu Neal to an ACL tear.
Oh.
And he left the game, came back in, and then that happened. Like, he got injured, came back, and then that happened.
Wow.
Yeah, it looked like it was, at least to me, I don't know. My thought afterwards was that because it was the same knee he hurt.
Yeah,
Both
so maybe he
times. I
did
thought-
hurt it the first
Yeah,
time.
maybe he partially tore it the first time, and then the second time completely blew it up. He knew right when it happened the second time too. So that's not a good loss for the Falcons. Obviously, that's probably your best defensive guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they said after the Falcons originally said they don't expect it to be too serious, and then MRI reveals it's an ACL tear. So
I hope their medical staff doesn't suck and that was just a miscommunication.
no, it probably sucks.
Yeah.
But any other takeaways just specifically from last night's game?
No, I like I said, it's the first game of the year, and not many people watched, obviously because of the delay, and it was just a sloppy game. I hope that it isn't a theme throughout the first week of the NFL, like a ton of penalties and things like. I hope that doesn't repeat in a lot of games, because I know a lot of people are obviously excited about the NFL coming back, and if it's a week of stinkers, games wise, that could be a little bit of a problem for the NFL. I hope it's not a trend that continues.
Yeah. Well, weather-wise, I mean, it's not looking too good for the Steelers
Yeah,
Browns game.
That's true. Yeah.
They're apparently to be playing in a monsoon. So
Yeah.
what, they say like 7 inches of rain.
Close.
And yeah, the weather people down there are saying they have absolutely no idea how they're going to try to play a football game.
Send it.
No one's going to want to sit through that,
Ooh.
and it's going to be very tough to
Hey,
play
if
through.
tickets are going to be like $10, I'll get a poncho and just sit there.
Sergeant Derek.
Yeah. What the heck?
You know what I thought about the game was, how did Matt Ryan win an MVP, and how did Nick Foles win a Super Bowl? Just watching that
Ooh.
game.
If you just watched last night's game, those are two very valid questions.
Yeah.
Foles hasn't looked good throughout the offseason.
Yeah.
Preseason games didn't look good, and then you had yesterday. Credit, like we were just saying, who did look good yesterday.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I definitely think that there's probably Eagles fans that were at one point saying, we can survive without Wentz, that are now like, okay, when's he coming back?
Which seems like it's not for a little while.
Yeah, originally it was like, okay, he's going to miss 1 week. Hopefully he's back week 2. That was the original report that I saw. If you watch him moving around, some people are saying he looks really good. I don't see that when I'm watching him move around with his brace on.
No.
I don't know. What do you think, Kellen?
ACLs are tough, man. I mean, everybody responds differently, and with Wentz, I mean, if you're an Eagles fan right now, like you said, you're a little nervous, obviously, after the performance that Foles had, and he looked bad all preseason too. I mean, the Eagles really looked bad all preseason. They're beat up. Nelson Aguilar is Alshon Jeffrey's not playing right now, and so it's kind of I don't know, it's a little tough for Eagles fans right now for sure.
Yeah, I just meant from have you seen him as far as like his mobility and stuff?
No, honestly, I haven't. I mean, I just kind of been going off hearsay, like what other people have been saying and things like that. But they need him, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's almost like a 50-50 split with how people think that he looks. It's weird. It's like I'm
Right.
watching him and I'm like, I don't think that this dude looks capable of coming back anytime soon. And then you hear these people that are like, yeah, he looks good moving around. Obviously, he's able to throw and stuff, I guess, right now. But he's just, the mobility is the question. So I personally don't see him coming back till, like you said, everybody's different. It's hard to put a number on it, but I don't think that he's even just a couple of weeks away. I think he's further than that.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way. Especially the thing that scares me too. He's not cleared for contact yet, and that's kind of the scariest part. So
all I'm gonna say is I'm sorry I even predicted it in the first place.
Yeah, how about we last year on one of our episodes we had a guest on that had him on her fantasy team.
I did too.
She basically had the entire Eagles roster on this team.
Yeah.
And we're talking about like MVP candidates as Carson Wentz there. And I was like, yeah, but what if he tears his ACL?
Oh no.
And then it was like 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later he tears his ACL. Shannon's ready to come for this man's throat.
I probably would have been too, to be fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was after my own throat.
The thing that I don't get about it is like no one's like kind of meeting in the middle. It's either they think he's gonna come back in like a week or two, or he's gonna miss. They're gonna come back between like week 6 and 8.
Or they should have just put him on IR. That's like either he's gonna come back in a week or he should have been on IR. That's what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
Me personally, I like I said, probably more than a couple weeks.
All I'm gonna say is don't ruin him, please.
Yeah. You got your Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
You don't need to win the Super Bowl this year. Don't rush him back. That's your franchise right there.
Speaking of which, you just won the Super Bowl and you're trailing by 3 at halftime and you're booing the team.
Yeah.
Philly fans are the worst.
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, what are you doing? Like he just had this big celebration, and then you're booing the Eagles as they go off the field down 3. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's just
you literally
Philadelphia.
just had your banner raised.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So let's take a look now at the rest of the Week 1 slate. What do you have your eyes on?
Well, obviously Steelers and Browns, but we're obviously going to talk about that later. I think the game everyone was kind of looking forward to was the game last night, but that kind of turned out to be a little bit of a down game, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the Rams. I don't know why, really. They were kind of like a surprise team last year that kind of came out of nowhere. But I think the additions they had in the secondary and on that defensive side of the ball, they might have the best defense in football when this is all said and done at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited to see them out on the field. And, I don't know why. I think it's going to be a catastrophe waiting to happen, but I'm excited to see John Gruden's Raiders go out there. I think Gruden's kind of running the Raiders into the ground a little bit. But I don't know. I just want to see. Maybe it's a little biased, but I just kind of want to see Oakland and the Raiders kind of fall off. I don't know why, but that's just kind of what I'm, at least off the top of my head.
It's funny you bring that up. Over under on how many years it takes for John Gruden to get fired.
Well, it's interesting because he's a part owner. So is he gonna fire himself? You know what I
I
mean? Like
forgot about that.
that. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to fire himself.
No.
I don't know unless another. I don't know how that all works out. And
Yeah,
it's kind of
there would have to be a
unprecedented.
crazy amount of backlash, but I could definitely see that. I mean, I feel like the Khalil Mack thing is the first
The
step.
kindling.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of backlash
And
already
they're
about the
moving to
Martavis
Vegas.
Bryant trade,
Yeah.
Right.
and so for me, if he ruins Derek Carr anymore, if he doesn't have,
Mhm.
if Derek Carr doesn't have a resurgence under him, to me that would be it. I think that there would be too much backlash from the fans, and he'd have to just, say, I'm stepping away from coaching. I'm just going to have my other role.
Goes back into the booth going, man, football's a different game now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something, man.
10 years, $100 million, by the way.
We should have traded for Vontaze Perfect, man.
Oh no.
So week 1 for me, I'm looking at Houston, New England.
Yep, same.
Deshaun Watson coming back. I think that's going to be a shootout. I don't think either defense stands a chance of.
I have both of them. Fuck.
Those are your two options for defense.
Yeah.
I can see both teams are going to score 30 plus. I think, which is great because I have a lot of players on those two teams in fantasy. San Fran, Minnesota. I like that matchup. Jimmy Garoppolo. The era got started last year, but this is the first opening season that he's going to have as a starter, and obviously Kirk Cousins now in Minnesota, and they'll go head-to-head in Game 1. Kind of intrigued by Chargers, Kansas City. Chargers are a team that I picked to win that division, and I really like Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. But the Chargers are going to be without Bosa, and the Chiefs are going to be without Eric Berry, so a little bit of a damper on that game. And that's probably the Sunday night game, Green Bay Chicago, got a little bit more interesting with Khalil Mack going to Chicago now. I don't think Chicago's that bad. I don't know between them and Detroit which one's going to be 3 and 4 in that division, but I think it's going to be a pretty good division. And I like Mitch Trubisky, even though he didn't know what a hard count was when he was coming into the league. But and I love Trey Burton, his tight end. So for me, those are the games that I'm looking at, like you said, other than the Steeler game, which is obviously the priority for all of us.
Right. Yeah. No doubt about that.
So
I was going to say one game, not necessarily the game itself, but a team I'm looking at is the Giants to see if they can rebound from last year. See how Eli produces with a healthy OBJ, and see how Saquon does in his rookie season.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people think that division is kind of like wide open with everything that's going on with the Eagles.
It is.
And I've seen people pick the Giants to win that division. I've seen
I don't know if I go that far.
A couple people would pick the Cowboys. I'm not so sure about their offensive line has a lot of question marks. If they're all healthy, they have like 3 guys that are Hall of Famers on the offensive line, but that's not the case. They played Jacksonville week 1, so I don't know about that game, but the Giants definitely have to be better.
That's why I said like not necessarily that game in general.
Yeah,
just I want to see how the Giants do after the terrible season last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that I think we talked about it maybe just last week, but how stupid it was about them benching Eli and ruining that streak.
Yeah.
And to give it the start to Geno Smith. Like you're not even looking at a future asset.
Country roads.
Yeah. And but then they basically, I guess, commit to him at least for the short-term future. They beef up the offensive line a little bit. They get him Saquon. You got Odell back healthy. Evan Ingram's got potential to be a top 5 tight end. Sterling Shepard's a okay number 2. I mean, yeah, the Giants could be okay as long as that offensive line holds up. I don't know about the defense, but that will be determined. What do you think about that? Okay, so the NFC East in general.
Well, I'm kind of with you guys. I mean, I don't know if the Giants are good enough to win that division by any means, but I think the Eagles still win it.
I agree.
Whenever Wentz gets back, whenever that is, hopefully they're in good enough shape. If you're an Eagles fan, that they can still be in first place in the division. But I think New York could really be a fringe playoff team. I don't know why. I mean, the NFC is very good, obviously, but the offense is so high powered. I mean, you just rattled off everybody on that offense, and with Saquon Barkley coming in, and I'm a little biased. I'm a Penn State guy, so I'm very high on Saquon Barkley. I have him on my fantasy team, so I really think that offense could be something to mess with if Eli doesn't have the worst season of his career again. But we'll see how that works out for New York. But yeah, I'm not very high on the Cowboys either. Like you said, with the offensive line injuries, I don't think Zeke is going to be as good because, like you said, when they're all healthy, they have 3 Hall of Famers. But I don't know. It's a lot of question marks.
Yeah. And like you said, the NFC is very good. That's true. You have at least one team in each division that's a powerhouse.
Right.
So you got Philly, who, like you say, they're gonna. It's almost like, I don't know how closely you follow baseball, but you have the Cleveland Indians, who were an average team for most of the season, yet you knew they were running away with that division.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Yeah, it's
so
the
that's
same thing.
almost the vibe that I get from the Eagles this year. The NFC North, Green Bay is getting Rodgers back. They had to play a lot of last season with Brett Hundley. So I would still pick Minnesota to win that division, but I think Green Bay is going to be a wild card team. Then you got the South, where New Orleans is probably the team that I would assume is being picked to win that division by everybody. And then, Carolina, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, that is pointless to even say their name. And then the Rams in the West, and I don't know if people are already on the Jimmy Garoppolo hype train this much, but do you think that people are considering them a potential wild card team?
Maybe, and I think it really centers around Garoppolo, and it's how good he plays. And a lot of people are very high on him and hype. I mean, he's played very well, but it's such a small sample size. Can you really, base that off of, can you expect a winning season out of that just based on what the 7-8 games he started in his career? I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think they can be a good team, especially if they build around Garoppolo, but I don't think they're a playoff team quite yet.
Yeah, and I get Shanahan is a running back whisperer, so I know that I picked up Alfred Morris and in a couple leagues, Matt. I don't even know is it Breida or Breida? I don't even.
It's Breida, yeah.
Breida. So I have him in a couple leagues as well. I don't know which one's going to end up being the better. I mean, Morris seems like he'll be the first and second down back. Breida is the third down back, but he gets production out of his running backs. And so that offense could be decent. I hear he has a great rapport with Marquise Goodwin already.
Yeah.
Kittle, a lot of people think that he's in for a second-year breakout. And then Pierre Garçon, he's a reliable number 2 receiver. I'm not so sure on the defensive side of the ball how San Fran's going to be, but Jimmy Garoppolo's they're invested in him as the future. So that's who you're building around. Unfortunately, they're not going to get the first year that they signed up for with Jerick McKinnon, but
right, yeah, that's a huge loss for them for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if people were overhyping him. I don't know what you think about that, but
I think he's a good back, but I mean, people were just basing it off of fantasy stuff. Like, people were drafting him super high and
top 15.
Not that he's not. I mean, he catches a lot of passes, so he has a lot of value, especially in PPR leagues, but I don't know if he's a top 15 player. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I mean, maybe in that offense he could have been, like you said, with Shanahan being a running back kind of guru. I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's that great, but it's a huge loss for San Francisco nonetheless.
Yeah, and now they turn to, like I said, Alfred Morris, who they signed and had a great preseason. And now people are drafting him as like a top 20 running back. So that speaks volumes for what Shanahan gets out of his running backs.
Right. I mean, one of them has to rise to the top. So I don't know which one it's going to be, but one of them has to, obviously.
Yeah. And then real quick, moving over to the AFC, I think that the AFC West. Would you consider that the toughest division in the AFC?
Yeah, I think
at least
so.
to pick a winner to come out of.
Oh gosh, I think that's the hardest one to I can't even. Oh boy, you're gonna make me pick off the top of my head.
Well, I already went on record saying I was picking the Chargers, so.
I think that's what I said.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are high on the Chargers. I think they're due, right? I mean, people have been high on them for a couple years now, waiting for.
They just keep losing guys.
Right, and then
Yeah.
last year, if they have a kicker, you know what I mean. They
Yeah.
get into everything kind of changes. If I were to pick, I'd probably say the Chargers off the top of my head. I mean, that offense is pretty. You have Phillip Rivers, who say what you want about him, he's going to sling it all over the place, and he's going to put up a ton of yards, and Gordon at running back. I mean, I think so. I think that might be your best bet in that division, although it is a pretty tough one to pick a winner out of.
Yeah. So, just real quick on Phillip Rivers. It's not like saying, a Super Bowl is not an easy thing to win, obviously.
No, right.
But if he has a Super Bowl on his resume, a lot of people are talking differently about Phillip Rivers.
Yeah,
with the
I would
numbers
agree
that
with
he's put up.
Yeah, because he has put very good numbers up in his career, but when you win a Super Bowl, you're kind of thought of a lot higher, obviously, as we have come to know. But people kind of judge you based on Super Bowls. But if he wins one, he might be up in that conversation, with the upper tier of quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, when I think of quarterback tight end combos, obviously Brady Gronk comes to mind, but immediately after that, Rivers Gates.
Yeah.
Right. And you're kind of the flip side of that is, how good will Antonio Gates be? I mean, he's almost 100 now. I don't know what type of player it's going to be, but they have a great connection together. So, I mean, you have that going for you, obviously. So I don't know how good Gates is going to be, but it's definitely kind of a comfortability, I suppose, for Rivers.
Yeah. They said that there might be some extra motivation there with Gates, and I'm sure that there would be. Like, these guys weren't even going to re-sign me. It took an injury for them to bring me back. So, and then the other thing that gets interesting for me in the AFC is the AFC South, because you have two quarterbacks coming back from injury. One, Luck didn't throw a football at all last year.
Right.
And then Deshaun Watson, who looked fantastic until he tore his ACL. And then you have two teams that were in the playoffs last year in Jacksonville and Tennessee. So, I mean, I'm picking Jacksonville to come out of that. But Houston is they're so intriguing because of Deshaun Watson.
They are. They really are. And they have a good defense too. They have a lot better of a defense than people give them credit for. Houston does. And with Watt coming back now, if he can be 80% of the player that he was, I think that makes that defense a heck of a lot better. But honestly, I think I like Tennessee coming out of that division. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they made the playoffs last year, and now they have Derrick Henry and now a pass catching back in Deion Lewis and Marcus Mariota. I like them to win that division. I think Jacksonville kind of takes a step back this year.
Ooh, Geddes is not happy.
Yeah, we actually we have a lot of friends that are podcasters that are in Jacksonville. Like that's like our connection. So it's a good beef back and forth. But I don't know. I don't see them necessarily having any progression, Jacksonville, but I see them staying the same. Like I could see another 10-6 season.
Yeah, they're going to be right around 10 wins. I don't see them, like you said, I don't see them getting any better, I suppose. I mean, because let's face it, you have Blake Bortles playing quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, albeit Bortles he beat the Steelers, obviously, and he led them to the AFC Championship game. But how long can you rely on him to do that? That's the real question.
Yeah, basically, I think this year. I mean,
I agree with you.
I think if they don't walk away with a Lombardi, and even then, I'm not sure. It depends on how he does, because they could sit there and say, okay, we could have won this with any quarterback with our defense and run game.
Right. Yeah.
But I am intrigued by the receiving core because it seems like they're all kind of in the same group. I mean, I really like Keelan Cole, but you have Moncrief, D.D. Westbrook, and who's they have four that are kind of all in the same. Who's the other one?
Well, I know they lost Lee for the year. That was that's not obviously who you're talking about, but I can't remember the other one.
Chart, the rookie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Who they're all kind of gonna, but once again, what is it? You have Bortles who completes like 12 passes a game.
Right.
So,
and I don't know. I mean, like you said, they're all kind of the same sort of receiver. They're all in that same kind of grouping. There's not one that's like above and beyond the number one. Obviously, Lee would have been, but now that he's gone for the year, now Bortles kind of has, a less than stellar group to throw the ball to, and you really got to rely on that run game, which they already do anyway. But Now you really have to rely on it. Now every team knows what you're going to do. It's just a matter of stopping it, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say was you almost wonder if they could take a step back because teams are going to be keying in on that so much. I mean, you would have had to have figured that teams were anyway.
Right.
But really, now you have so much tape on Fournette, a whole season's worth to go based off of. I almost wonder if that's going to be even. I don't know how you could key in on it more because teams already knew that was the focus.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to make Blake Bortles throw more than they were last year.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, if I'm anybody, if I'm a defensive coordinator looking at the Jags, okay, we are going to load the box. We're going to put everybody up near the line, and we're going to make Blake Bortles beat us. If he does that, we tip our cap and we change our game plan. But if that what they're going to do, they're going to hand the ball off to Fournette, and he's going to run all over the place. So you have to stop that. And if I'm anybody, I'm just stacking the line of scrimmage and making Bortles beat me.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, without this becoming too political, I wanted to bring up, regardless of which point on the show it was going to be, the whole Colin Kaepernick Nike ad thing. And you don't have I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know if you don't want to give an opinion on this. So first off, do you guys have anything to say regarding the matter? Herb would like to stay silent.
Well, I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with the whole situation that started with the kneeling. I don't agree with it at all. But part of me is just like, I'm like, you have to admire somebody. Like, at least he gave up everything, and now he's kind of getting compensated for it. I mean, it's kind of like it's crazy that now Kaepernick is getting kind of paid, and he's like the face of Nike at this point for kneeling during a national anthem. But I don't really have much to say on it, but it's really just incredible how it's gotten to this point. Really, it's like I can't wrap my head around the whole situation.
Yeah, absolutely. But I guess my bigger the reason I wanted to bring it up really was nothing to do with the past stuff. I think it's more so the people boycotting Nike and stuff now.
Oh yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, Nike doesn't care what you're doing, whether you're going to burn their stuff or not. You bought it, so
yeah. And the thing is too, it's like the justification is we care so much about the military as people, so we can't possibly support Nike and stuff. Well, okay, you don't have to wear this Nike stuff, but there's a homeless veteran that would love to have that.
Sure,
that you're saying
right, exactly.
That you're saying you care about so much.
Right.
So I guess that's where I'm coming from with this. And I personally, Nike obviously did their market research. They knew the risk of doing this, and they thought it was worth taking. And I personally have to applaud them for doing so.
Yeah. I agree with you there.
And I thought the commercial was fantastic. I
gave
saw
me
it before
chills.
I saw it before it
Yeah.
aired because I saw it on YouTube.
I did too, but when I saw it on TV, it was like even more so. It was like amplified.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing is like I guess people aren't understanding what he sacrificed, because I got into an argument, so to say, with somebody where I work about him not sacrificing anything. They're like, no, the people that sacrifice stuff are the people that lose their lives in the military, blah, blah, which, of course, yes. But I think that sacrificing a career is sacrificing something.
For sure.
I'm not saying that Colin Kaepernick is a world beater by any means. I'm not so sure he's a starting quarterback still in the NFL. But I feel like he, at least, without having the time off that he's had now, was capable of being on an NFL roster for sure as a backup. At least.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think might still be better than some backups in the NFL,
to
be completely honest with you. But yeah, you got to applaud somebody that's willing to sacrifice literally his job. And he did. He lost his job over something that he believed in. And regardless of what you think of it, I don't agree with it. But at the same time, I admire his drive and the willingness to give up everything to get his message across. It's just it's like I see both sides, but I admire him for doing that, for giving up everything.
Mm-hmm. Now, I guess the question becomes, would he have still done that knowing the risk?
I think he would. I really do. Because he felt so strongly about it. I mean, he even opted out of his contract with the Niners. If I do remember right, I think he did opt out in the beginning when all the backlash came, or he opted out of an extension or something of that nature. I can't exactly remember. But I think he would, just because he had no way of knowing what would be now, what would come of it now. But to raise awareness about it, I mean, you have to applaud him for that, because everyone was talking about him when it was happening. So definitely was raising awareness.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the last couple things, they're going to regard the Steelers.
Okay.
So we know that Vance McDonald's out. We also know that somebody else is not going to be playing week 1. And it's a hot topic. Le'Veon Bell has still not joined the Steelers.
Yep.
First off, I want to get, because I said, I even tweeted out, I have not necessarily been on Bell's side the whole time. I haven't been on the Steelers side the whole time. I understood both sides. I was kind of split down the middle. When his teammates start taking issue with it, that's when there's a problem.
For sure.
To me. So what are your thoughts?
Well, in the beginning, I was like you. I kind of was on the fence about it. I was literally in the middle. I saw where Bell was coming from, and the fact that he is a once-in-a-generation back. To be completely blunt, he is. And then I saw the Steelers side of it, to where, we tried to give you a contract. You didn't take it. What else is there for us to do other than tag you? There's nothing really. We can restructure, but then, you let the player kind of run things. So, and the Steelers they've never let a player dictate that. So I saw both sides, and now I'm with you. The fact that, I was with Bell and I understood it, but now the fact that you're going to miss games, you're hurting the Steelers. You're hurting the entire team. It's not about you getting your money now. You're hurting the rest of the team. And I think that was the point that a lot of the linemen were trying to get across, that, look, you're taking away from us now. We're trying to win a Super Bowl, and we want you to be a part of that. We're the best team when you're with us. And now, nothing against James Conner, but James Conner isn't Le'Veon Bell. They're a much better team with Le'Veon Bell, in my opinion, even though he causes headaches. I mean, he's a pain in the ass, but he's a talented pain in the ass, So I'm about fed up with it. I don't know when in the world he's going to show up. I've heard that he might not show up until week 10, in which case, I don't know where the Steelers are at that point. But, I'm about fed up with it now, especially because he's missing out on $850,000 to just play each game. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah. So, for me, it's like, there's nothing else that can be done. It's not like they can still negotiate anything. So
that is what I don't get, is so much of the national media and Pittsburgh media that doesn't understand that they are not negotiating anything. He can't get any more money. Like, it's by holding out. He has his franchise tag, and he has to sign it, and that's what he has to play under. Like, he can't. Go ahead.
It's completely over the national media's head, and especially like you see guys like Ike Taylor like calling out the Steelers offensive lineman for bashing Bell, but like, you can't do anything else. The Steelers offered him a contract, like you said. They put the tag on him. They have no leverage over Bell. Bell just isn't showing up. Like, I don't understand how the media completely misses all this. Like, they're all saying, oh, you can't be mad at a guy for trying to make money. Well, when it interferes with our well-being and interferes with the team, we can be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't think his agent made it any better by saying, they're protecting his long-term value. So, okay, he's not actually even invested in being part of this team. He's already thinking past this year.
Right. And the one thing, too, that stuck out in that was that he said, his agent said he wants to be the best back he can be. He wants to have the best year of his career. How's he going to do that if he doesn't play every game? How is he going to do that if he misses out on games? It makes zero sense.
Yeah, the Steelers could actually really screw him if he decides to not show up until week 10, because they could put him on the exempt list for 2 weeks, and then he wouldn't have accrued a full season by playing the rest of the year.
Right, and that's I don't know if the Steelers would be that petty about it.
No, I'm just saying that it's there.
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying there, but then what do you do if he does come back week 10? If they're 10-2 and Connor's on a roll,
he's our
just
fourth
take
receiver.
him out and Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do? Do you take Connor out? You can't. I don't know.
No, I mean I've entertained the thought of playing Bell more at wide receiver and having him and Connor both on the field together.
Or have them both in the backfield at the same time on both sides of Ben. I've been wanting that for 2 years now.
But yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to talk about. That was just the national media. I mean, I listened to, who was it? Steve Mariucci say today on the NFL Network, because Michael Irvin was just going off on the Steelers, and Steve Mariucci said, "Well, hopefully they're still in contract negotiations." And then Rich Eisen was like, "Guys, they cannot negotiate a contract any further. He has to play on the franchise tag this season. There's no way around it."
That's why I didn't understand anybody who says that he gets more leverage by doing this. Leverage for what? Like, he's not getting another contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's not making money, so what's the point?
Exactly.
What's the point of holding out?
I feel like Bell has no leverage doing this. Like, it's not like if he holds out, the Steelers can just cough up more money to him. Mm-hmm. He has to play for, what, $14.5 million?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. Like, that's the most you can get.
That's why it doesn't make sense to me. And obviously, like, to the players on the team, it was like they understood this whole time, and then he didn't show up Wednesday, and that's when it became a problem.
Right, and I think that's the biggest thing. They were under the assumption that he was going to be there on Labor Day, and then when he wasn't there on Labor Day, they're under the assumption he's going to be there Wednesday. And then, it's just like if it was Bell, I don't know if it was that was saying that directly to the team, is saying that I'll be there Monday or I'll be there Wednesday. Then you lose your word with the boys. Like you lose your with the team. Like you can't do that. And then everybody's mad that the team's bashing him. Well, I would too. I mean, I'm a fan and I'm upset. They're the ones trying to win a Super Bowl, and they're making, they're risking their bodies and making all sorts of money to try to win a Super Bowl. And one of their best helpers in doing that isn't there.
Yeah. So you obviously don't have an issue then with the locker room comments.
Absolutely not. I mean, I get that. Like, I saw what Antonio Brown said today. Like, nobody wins when the family fights or something like that, and that's true. I mean, when he gets there, you can't be. I don't want them to be fighting amongst each other, but at the same time, I'd be angry too if I was the team and I was expecting Bell to be there and he never shows up. I'd be upset too.
Yeah,
especially it's not like it's like someone in the secondary or like a linebacker saying this. Like, it's your linemen. Like the people who make it so you can do what you do.
Right. It's the running back. And I mean, not to get into it too deep, but Connor and Bell are such different runners, and they've been, so used to blocking for Bell. And I think someone asked, I can't remember I can't remember who, if it's different. And whoever the lineman was said no. But it obviously is different because Bell and Connor don't run the same way. And now you kind of have to change up your blocking scheme in order to compensate for that.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to say, I don't know. Do you feel, though, that the bridges have already been burned to an extent, though, with a lineman saying this?
Maybe, but at the same time, if he comes back and he's the Le'Veon Bell of old, we kind of forget about this and just understand, okay, well, he's probably going to be gone next year, but let's try to win a Super Bowl this year. That would be the way I would look at it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Once he gets here, this is all.
It's water under the bridge at that point, right?
Yeah, that's why he shows up Wednesday. He himself would have forgotten about the contract dispute. Now he's here for the season,
right? Exactly,
and that's the way it should be. I mean, get your
exactly.
money, but get it before the season starts.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw it. I think it was Tyler on Twitter, Wagner to Kutch, say that it would be a lot different, or he would feel a lot different about him holding out like this if he wasn't suspended like twice.
Right.
So I don't know if that has any effect on people as well.
For me, I would say for me, no. I mean, maybe to some people I can see why, but once again, for me, it just that doesn't play into it. Now for the Steelers, maybe, sure, but for me as a fan, the where I'm coming from, it doesn't play into the way that I think about him at all. It doesn't play into the contract that I would have given him at all. But
no, absolutely not.
I'm not Kevin Colbert.
Right. None of us are, exactly.
But I think we've all kind of set our piece on that. Unless you have anything else to add.
No, I mean that's really it. The one last thing I will say, I can't stand, especially like the local media and even fans are like, cut him. You can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get nothing for cutting him. I mean, if you're gonna do anything, trade him. But you're gonna get a lot
Well,
for him if you do trade him.
That's what I asked. What
But-
do you think he brings in a trade?
I don't know. I mean, I would assume someone's gonna give you first round picks for him, maybe a couple. I saw reports that they maybe were going to be in talks for Khalil Mack for Bell, and I would have taken that. I've seen stuff for Earl Thomas too, but I don't know. I mean, the Steelers secondary is obviously getting better, but I think he would bring a lot of value. It's just a matter of our teams willing to give up what the Steelers want for him.
Do you think that an extension would have to be agreed upon with the team that he goes to in order to make anything work? Because that's the way I see it. I was just saying, I don't think you're sniffing a first round pick without him having an extension.
No, you're probably right. With the way things have gone so far in Pittsburgh, I would probably say the same. I would agree with you.
Yeah. And to me, at that point, with whatever you're getting for him, not with an extension, just this year on a tag, if you did a third round pick as a comp pick when he leaves in free agency anyway. So at that point, I don't even know if it's worth trading him, just for 1 year on the franchise tag.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so out of the ordinary. The whole situation is that I don't even know what would be the right course of action to take.
Yeah. And I think it speaks volumes, though, to how fed up people are with him. The fact that they are just willing to. I mean, there's, like you said, there's people that are just saying cut him, like just so he's not even on the team anymore. Like you have that amount of talent, but people are willing to do that just because that's how fed up they are.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And I saw people saying even if he does come, sit him for a week or two.
Yeah.
Just to stick it to him. It's like you're dumb if you sit him.
Yeah. How many people? Right. Because how many people actually care about the person that he is? Because I know I don't. If he produces on the football field, I don't give a shit.
If he's going to help us win a Super Bowl, I don't care what. Obviously, unless it's like murder or something to that nature. But, I mean, if he gets there, how do you not play him? I mean, obviously the workload's going to be a little bit reduced, especially early on when he does get there. But, I mean, you'd be, like you guys are saying, you'd be an idiot not to play Le'Veon Bell when and if he does come back.
Yeah. We'll see what that is.
Now, for a scenario, say they play Connor. Bell doesn't come back for a while. But say Connor's getting 80 to 100 yards a game. How do you implement Connor when Bell comes back? Because I know before, for Bell, whenever he's playing, it's like Connor's invisible in the offense, like last year. So
I feel like that was not going to be the case this year anyway. No, I mean Bell was still going to be the workhorse.
Yeah.
But knowing that, and there's people on both sides of this. It's do you run his wheels off because you're not going to have him? But to me, at least, I would think that you would want to give Connor more carries because he was the future.
Right, so, once Bell leaves, it's him and Jalen Samuels and then possibly Ridley as well. So you would assume that the workload would be, I don't know, maybe 70-30. It wouldn't be 95-5. You know what I mean? It would be. I would assume that it would be that way, but I don't know because if like you said, if Connor is on a roll, I don't know how you could sit him. Maybe you bring in more formations where there's two backs in the backfield beside Ben in a gun, or you have Connor in the backfield and you have Bell in the slot or something of that nature. That would be what I would do. I would try to maximize the weapons on the field, but I don't know how the Steelers would approach it. I have no idea.
Yeah. Not even have a tight end on the field because if Vance McDonald's hurt, then we don't have a tight end anyway.
Right, exactly. I mean, they should
You're
just spread
a
it out.
Penn State guy, so sorry to
no, hey, you know
take
what?
a dump on
I'm
Jesse
okay.
James, but
I'm okay with that. He's actually been a better pro than I thought he would be already. I didn't think he was. I mean, he was good in college, but he could catch the ball. I mean, other than the gaff in the New England game, he caught the ball and fall down. But other than that, he's actually a better pro than I thought he'd be. So I'm not too angry.
Was that a catch?
Yes.
Okay.
there you
I
have
don't
it.
even have to hesitate.
There you have it.
Although, hey, Jesse James did week 1 last year. He had 2 touchdowns. So
He did.
Hopefully,
So maybe
he repeats that this year.
Maybe. I don't know.
Who else is that with Edmonds?
I have no idea.
Terrell Edmonds is at the Pirate game tonight, and they're showing him right now, and I was trying to figure out who was standing next to him. We have it on behind us. Okay. Anyway, do you have any questions for us?
Huh. No. Well, yeah, actually, I do. What do you guys think about the new dollar package that the Steelers are going to bring to the table this year with the 7 defensive backs? And do you actually think it's going to work?
They have so many guys that are safety / linebacker / well, some of them / corner. Like they just
Right.
have there's so much versatility on that side of the football that it makes sense.
Right.
And hopefully Tom Bradley has these guys actually able to tackle, and hopefully Keith Butler knows what he's doing. I feel like he should have been on the hot seat last year, but it's definitely intriguing. And I think it is going to work. It almost makes you feel like they were scheming this defense entirely around guarding Rob Gronkowski with somebody. Not putting him one-on-one with Sean Davis. And I love Sean Davis, but he's a scapegoat now because of that game.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by it. Nothing from you guys?
Well, I mean, this is my year of learning football properly, not just watching for entertainment.
Yeah, Herb's just now getting into the game.
Yeah, I'm more of a hockey and baseball person.
Okay.
But he's because of us, he's gonna have to learn football.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Fantasy football, and now
I'm a
regular
guru
football.
in fantasy football. I've never lost money in a fantasy football league.
We did it. Off to a good start this year too.
Beefy?
I'm a fan of having some like bigger secondary guys, so I'm happy they kept on a few people like that. Like they could be like
Marcus Allen?
Yeah, like Marcus Allen. I'm not a Penn State guy, but I do love Marcus Allen. But yeah, I'm intrigued.
7 defensive backs on the field time.
I mean, it'll be faster, and yeah, maybe somebody can cover Gronk that isn't Sean Davis.
Morgan Burnett.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to find
Who
someone
Edmonds
that
is
can cover
starting
Gronk
over.
anyway. So
Now, what do you make of Edmonds starting over Burnett? Think that's a lot just due to Burnett's injury, or?
Yeah, I think it says a lot about how high they were on Edmonds when they drafted him. I myself, a lot of people, at work were like, "What in the world?" Like some people had like a 3rd round grade on this guy.
Yeah.
But I think it says a lot about how high they were on him. I mean, if you look at his tape his junior year, you could see where they got the 1st round grade from. Obviously, his senior year, he played with a shoulder injury we all know about. But I think I mean, I don't really think it matters much that he's listed as the quote unquote starter because we know they're going to be on the field at the same time a lot, especially when they bring in the 7 defensive backs and Burnett's going to be in that rotation. I don't really think it makes that big of a deal, but I think it's nice to know that that this 1st round pick that everybody was like critical of is paying off, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the thing that like people were saying, oh, you could have gotten this guy in like the 2nd round or whatever. Why'd you reach for him in the 1st? I don't think that enough people thought about it the way that I did, where I was thinking they like this guy a lot. They maybe see a lot of room to grow where it's more a potential pick, and they want the 5th-year option on him. So that's why you take him in the 1st round.
Sure, exactly.
But I don't think a lot of people were thinking like that.
No, and then you move along in the draft. You see, like, once I saw the draft progress, I was like, oh, now I see what they're going to do. They're going to try to get bigger safeties that can roll down into the box and all that. And it was evident with Marcus Allen. And then it kind of all started to make sense. It started to all take shape. And now with the dollar package, it's like, oh, now I see it. And now it's, hopefully it pays off. We'll see, when the season actually starts.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll find out soon enough how it works out, at least for 1 week.
Right. And against the Browns and what looks like it's going to be a monsoon, I don't know how much throwing down the field is going to be taking place, but who knows?
Now, I've got one more question for you.
Okay.
I want to. What is a win total for the Browns? I'm just very curious.
Well, I don't know, because they are a team that's a heck of a lot better. They're not going to go 16 again. I know that.
Hard to do worse.
It's very true, but I think their schedule is still tough. Realistically, I think they're around 6-ish, 7 maybe. Who knows? Maybe they get to 500. But if I were to, I'd say I'm going to go 6.5. I don't know. It's not a whole number, but I would say somewhere around 6 and 7, just because they're a much better team than they were last year. And at some point, it has to turn around. I mean, everybody keeps saying that, but at some point, it has to happen.
I mean, for most people, including me, it's like you got to see it to believe it. Just because I understand that it's a whole different team. It's a new front office. A lot of the roster's been changed, but in my eyes, it's still the Cleveland Browns.
It is still the Cleveland Browns.
However, I did say that I don't think they finished last in the North this year.
No, I don't think they do either. I think the division's very, very. I think it's very bad, to be completely honest with you. It's not the years of old, but I don't think they finish in the cellar either. I think maybe Baltimore's there, especially if Joe Flacco isn't. He's like he has a year like he did last year, but I don't think the Cleveland Browns are the last in last place. Put it that way.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm right around there too. I think 5 or 6 wins. 7, that doesn't sound, but like that's only a game under 500. I don't know if I can do that for Cleveland yet.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I get what
I'm
you're
gonna
saying.
do 5 or 6.
All right, yeah, that's fair enough.
Leaning more towards 5.
No, I actually lied. I have one more question, and that's it. And it has to do with it's just because we were talking about the Browns, I thought of it. Do we see Baker Mayfield this year? And if so, how soon? Or does it only take an injury to Tyrod Taylor?
Well, I mean, I think it might only take an injury, which we've already seen an injury to Tyrod Taylor in the preseason, and then they put him back in the game, which didn't make any sense at all. But anyway, I definitely, that's true, and that's probably why. But I think we do see Baker Mayfield this year. I really do. Although Tyrod Taylor, he's not going to take many chances. He's going to dump the ball off. He's not going to turn the ball over. So I don't know. They might. If they're 0-5 or they're 1-4 or something like that in the first 5 games, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you take a chance and throw the young guy out there? Because you're not going to do much worse. You're not going to be worse than 1-4. You're 0-5. I honestly, I think you do see Baker Mayfield, and I think it's probably, I don't know, if I were to take a guess, I'd say like week 6-ish maybe, especially if they're bad at that point, which I think everybody's kind of assuming they're going to be. So
yeah, he's your first overall pick, so you're going to see him at some point.
You would have to think.
My thought was if they're that bad, it won't happen while they're bad. They would wait till after the bye week and then make the change.
When is their bye week?
I think it's late. That's the thing.
I want to say 12.
Oh, okay. If it's that, well,
I think
maybe they would make the change that late then.
Oh, no. It's 11.
I don't know.
So they come back week 12 against the Bengals, yeah.
It's close. Damn.
But, okay, so their 3 games right before their bye week are Steelers, Chiefs, Falcons.
Yeah. Maybe that would be the right time to put Mayfield in.
Because then you put Mayfield in to finish the season with the Bengals, Texans, Panthers, Broncos, Bengals, Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a little easier of a slate, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, well, I think that about wraps things up here.
Yeah, I got nothing.
From around the 412. Well, this has been a lot of fun. We enjoyed having you. This has probably been our longest that we've been on the phone with somebody, so great conversation. Took up
thank you.
Took up a lot of time. We talked about the NFL for more than I think we've ever had.
Yeah, we're more likely gonna give you another call later in the season.
Cool. I'm more than willing to do it again. This was a heck of a lot of fun with you guys.
Yeah, we can follow up on some of the stuff that we said and see how good or bad it looks.
Yeah,
we'll have to check in on those win totals. But alrighty, Kellen, have a good night and continue to do what you're doing.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See ya.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stop. We're just gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I'm
like
too
I said,
tired.
I mean, I know that was a guy that knew his football had to.
Can you hand me
bring
that
him
mouse
on
over there?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
we have something to do that we completely forgot about.
Okay.
The little giveaway.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I'm gonna roll.
Are
that
you gonna do
now.
that on your computer then? You
Yes.
okay.
Yes, I'll do that.
We're a bad show.
We are a very bad show, but
Well,
it's besides
Okay.
the point.
I didn't know if we were gonna.
A lot of things happened today, okay, Tyler?
Yeah, Spreadshirt suck.
That too. Fuck Spreadshirt. We're gonna be going straight through us. I don't know exactly how we're gonna
Okay,
do
I
it.
didn't know if you
might
wanted to
have
bring it
DM
up,
us.
but so this is gonna be a little difficult. So somebody's gonna win this shirt. We're gonna figure out a way to do it.
It might
but-
be a little longer than you expect.
So this Connor Strong shirt, which we've seen a ton of.
We
around
literally
Pittsburgh.
saw it.
We literally
On
saw
the,
one.
I
at the
tapped
podcast.
Smitty's leg because I saw it on the TV. Someone's wearing a Connor Strong shirt.
The design, after being up for what, 2 days at least,
Yeah.
for like 2 days, was then rejected by Spreadshirt, so we're no longer able to sell it on there.
Yep.
I already have one.
Which
got
was
it in the mail
funny
today.
as fuck.
I got it in the mail today, and I'm gonna be honest, doesn't look great.
They half-assed it, dude.
It
They
has
really
like
did.
it has like a bluish green outline around the letters, and the logo is super small,
Yeah, I told you they half-assed
Really?
it.
Yeah.
Huh.
super small. So I don't even know if I'm gonna wear it. I might just have it. I have like a little place where I have all our shirts that I have sitting there, so it might just stay there. But
This man does not follow us. He does not win. Sorry.
I thought you were gonna do 1, 2, 3.
Well, I mean, I am.
This
and I'm also
man does not
curious.
follow us. It says following people.
People try and sneak in there, man. Come on.
That's
Oh,
what
no.
she said.
Oh, no. The third one. He follows us. Damn it. Again.
Shout out to Sparky OP.
He doesn't stream anymore. Doesn't win. Pick
Should we-
somebody
okay,
else.
okay.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah. All right. Mitch wins the shirt.
Scavo, by the way.
Yeah. Oh
Is it
yeah.
Scavo or
Sorry.
Scavo?
Sorry. I
It's
should've-
Mitch Scavo.
Mitch Stavo wins the shirt. We will be in touch shortly. Like we said, we're gonna find a way to do it. I don't know if I, have to just do one through custom made or something. I'll do it. But
No. We'll get it out within the next 2 weeks.
You know what? Screw Mitch. He's a Penn State fan. Let's just.
but yeah, I wish that I could say if you didn't win the shirt, go buy one. But I can't do that right now.
Give
So-
it some time.
Although, if you do want one, tell us so we know how many we can order when we do that.
Yes.
But they will be sold. The man cannot keep us down.
The man cannot keep us down.
I mean,
God.
they're pretty dope. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Yeah.
They're so basic, but I like it.
Yeah.
Somebody just texted us and said, like, do
Well,
this.
I think that's. I think that's good. Like
Yeah.
simplicity is good.
Fair enough.
Yeah. People try to do
But
too
literally,
much.
just the dude on the TV had
Was
Connor
wearing
Strong
Connor,
and then 30 under it.
But the thing was that the E was not a 3.
Oh yeah,
And
our design's better.
Yeah.
I'm just saying someone was wearing a shirt that said
Yeah.
that.
All right. Well, anyways, a lot of fun, a lot of NFL talk.
Yeah.
Enjoy your first Steelers Sunday, everybody. Like,
Hopefully it's not rained
subscribe.
out.
Like, subscribe. Find us on Instagram.
And according to me, they're gonna lose.
Me too.
Follow us on every platform. Go buy one of our shirts that's not the Connor Strong and hit us up because we're going to get them. Until then, we'll talk to you guys next week.
R.I.P. Mac.
Bye-bye.
I'll do anything for a way out of my head. In my own way, just feel like